Have you ever been sitting quietly beside your husband or wife and suddenly felt something you could not explain? No words were spoken. No deep conversation took place. Yet somehow, you felt their emotions. You sensed their sadness, their peace, their worry, or their love. It is a mysterious experience that many people have felt but few truly understand. In today's busy world, couples often believe that communication happens only through words. We think that if we talk enough, explain enough, or solve enough problems, our relationship will naturally become stronger. Yet many husbands and wives discover a surprising truth. Sometimes they talk all day and still feel emotionally distant. At other times, they sit together in complete silence and feel deeply connected. What creates this invisible bond? What is happening beneath the surface of everyday life? According to higher spiritual wisdom, marriage is far more than a physical or emotional partnership. It is a sacred meeting of energies, thoughts, emotions, and souls. Every feeling we carry within ourselves quietly influences the atmosphere of our relationship. Every act of kindness creates harmony. Every hidden resentment creates tension. Even when no words are exchanged, an energetic conversation may still be taking place between two hearts. Paramahansa Yogananda often taught that human beings are not merely physical bodies. We are living centers of consciousness, constantly radiating thoughts, emotions, and spiritual vibrations. When two people share their lives together, these vibrations naturally interact in powerful ways. This means that your presence alone may be affecting your spouse more than you realize. Your inner peace can calm them. Your hidden fears can influence them. Your silent love can heal them. In this video, we will explore one of the most profound and beautiful mysteries of marriage, the hidden energy exchange between husband and wife during silent spiritual communion, and how understanding this truth can transform your relationship from ordinary companionship into a path of spiritual awakening. One of the most painful experiences in a marriage is not conflict, criticism, or disagreement. It is the feeling of emotional distance that slowly grows between two people who genuinely care about each other. Many husbands and wives wake up one day and realize that something feels different. They are still living under the same roof. They still share responsibilities, conversations, and daily routines. Yet deep inside, they feel separated by an invisible wall. What makes this situation so confusing is that there may be no obvious reason for it. No major argument has taken place. No betrayal has occurred. Nothing dramatic has happened. Yet the warmth that once flowed naturally between them seems to have faded. Many people try to solve this problem by focusing only on external communication. They believe that if they talk more, explain themselves better, or find the perfect words, everything will return to normal. While communication is important, the deeper issue often exists beneath the level of words. Spiritually speaking, human beings are constantly sharing energy with one another. Every thought we repeatedly think, every emotion we silently carry, and every attitude we hold creates a subtle vibration. Over time, husband and wife become deeply sensitive to each other's inner state, even when they are not consciously aware of it. A husband may carry hidden stress from work and unknowingly bring that energy into the home. A wife may carry unspoken disappointment or emotional exhaustion and silently radiate those feelings throughout her day. Neither person intends to create distance, yet their inner worlds begin affecting the atmosphere of the relationship. Gradually, silence feels heavier. Conversations become shorter. Affection becomes less natural. What was once a flowing connection begins to feel blocked. The hidden problem is not necessarily a lack of love. In many cases, love still exists. The problem is that emotional and spiritual harmony has been disturbed. The relationship is asking for something deeper than discussion. It is asking for awareness. It is asking each person to look within and recognize that the quality of their inner energy may be influencing the connection far more than they realize. When we begin to understand this truth, we stop blaming and start awakening. We realize that healing a relationship often begins by healing the unseen world within ourselves. Have you ever wondered why you can sometimes sense what your spouse is feeling without them saying a single word? Perhaps you immediately knew they were upset the moment they entered the room. Perhaps you felt peaceful simply by sitting beside them. These experiences point toward a deeper reality that both spiritual teachings and modern psychology have attempted to explain. Human beings are far more connected than they appear. We are not isolated individuals moving through life alone. We are constantly influencing one another through emotions, attitudes, thoughts, and energy. Psychology refers to this as emotional attunement. Spiritual traditions describe it as vibrational resonance. Although the language differs, the message is remarkably similar. The people closest to us affect us in ways that often happen beneath conscious awareness. Imagine placing two musical instruments next to each other. If one string vibrates strongly enough, a nearby string tuned to the same frequency may begin vibrating as well. Relationships often work in a similar manner. Fear influences fear. Anxiety influences anxiety. Calmness influences calmness. Love strengthens love. This is especially true between husband and wife because they share their lives, their environments, and often their deepest emotional experiences. According to Yogananda-Inspired wisdom, every human being radiates a subtle field of consciousness. Thoughts are not completely private events. Emotions do not remain locked inside us. They create energetic impressions that affect our surroundings. This does not mean we are responsible for every feeling another person experiences. Rather, it means that our inner state contributes to the atmosphere we create together. When one partner consistently cultivates peace, patience, gratitude, and spiritual awareness, that energy naturally benefits the relationship. Likewise, chronic anger, resentment, or negativity can gradually create emotional heaviness. This understanding invites a powerful shift in perspective. Instead of asking only how we can change our spouse, we begin asking how we can elevate our own consciousness. The relationship then becomes not merely a partnership of personalities but a meeting of souls. Healing starts when we recognize that true communication is happening all the time, even when no words are spoken. Many people enter marriage believing that love alone will solve every challenge. Yet sooner or later, hidden patterns begin to emerge. Old fears appear. Emotional wounds surface. Repeated conflicts arise. Couples often wonder why the same struggles continue returning again and again. From a spiritual perspective, these recurring experiences may not be accidents. They may be part of a deeper process of growth and awakening. Many spiritual traditions teach that important relationships enter our lives for a reason. They serve as mirrors that reveal aspects of ourselves that might otherwise remain hidden. A husband may unintentionally trigger feelings of insecurity that his wife has carried for years. A wife may awaken fears of rejection that existed long before the marriage began. Neither person necessarily creates these wounds. Instead, they illuminate them. This can be difficult to accept because the ego prefers to place blame outside itself. Yet spiritual growth begins when we recognize that every challenge contains an opportunity for self-discovery. Karma is often misunderstood as punishment. In reality, karma can be viewed as the law of learning. Life continually presents experiences that help the soul develop wisdom, compassion, patience, and self-awareness. Through relationships, we encounter lessons that cannot be learned in isolation. We discover our attachments, our expectations, our fears, and our strengths. Destiny may bring two souls together, but conscious effort determines how they grow together. Every disagreement can become a lesson in understanding. Every disappointment can become an opportunity for deeper love. Every challenge can become a doorway to greater awareness. The spiritual purpose of marriage is not perfection. It is transformation. It is not about finding a flawless partner. It is about becoming a wiser, more loving, and more awakened human being. When we view our spouse as a fellow traveler on the soul's journey rather than an obstacle to our happiness, something remarkable begins to happen. We stop fighting the lesson and start learning from it. And in that moment, relationships become powerful instruments of spiritual evolution. The hidden energy exchange between husband and wife often reveals itself through subtle experiences that many people dismiss as coincidence. Yet when observed carefully, these moments can offer fascinating insights into the depth of human connection. Perhaps you have experienced a sudden feeling of concern about your spouse while they were far away, only to discover later that they were going through a difficult moment. Perhaps you sensed tension in the home before a single word was spoken. Maybe you have felt an unexpected sense of peace simply by sitting quietly together after a stressful day. These experiences are more common than many people realize. Consider a husband who returns home carrying emotional stress from work. He may never mention his worries, yet his wife notices that something feels different. The atmosphere seems heavier. Conversation feels strained. She senses his burden long before he speaks about it. Or imagine a wife who spends time in prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. Without saying anything, her calm presence begins affecting the entire household. Family members feel more relaxed. Conflicts decrease. The environment feels lighter. These situations demonstrate that energy is often communicated silently. Another sign appears during periods of emotional harmony. Couples may sit together without speaking and feel completely comfortable. There is no pressure to fill the silence. No need for constant conversation. The connection itself feels nourishing. This kind of peaceful silence is often a sign of deeper spiritual communion. On the other hand, unresolved resentment may create the opposite effect. Even when conversations remain polite, an underlying discomfort can be felt by both partners. The words sound fine, but the energy feels different. These real-life situations remind us that relationships function on multiple levels. Physical communication matters. Emotional communication matters. But beneath both exists a quieter exchange that continuously influences the quality of the connection. Learning to recognize these signs helps us become more conscious participants in our relationships. When we begin to understand the hidden energy exchange within marriage, an important question naturally arises. How can we heal the relationship when negative energy, emotional distance, or tension has developed? The first step is awareness. Healing rarely begins by changing another person. It begins by honestly observing ourselves. Instead of asking, "Why is my spouse acting this way?" we can gently ask, "What am I bringing into this relationship each day?" This simple shift can transform everything. Before reacting to a difficult situation, pause for a moment. Observe your thoughts. Notice your emotional state. Ask yourself whether your response is coming from fear, frustration, ego, or genuine understanding. Often, the greatest gift we can offer a relationship is a calm and centered presence. Practical spiritual habits can also strengthen energetic harmony. Spending a few minutes each day in silence, meditation, prayer, gratitude, or mindful breathing can significantly change the atmosphere of a home. These practices help clear emotional clutter and create inner stability. Couples may also benefit from intentional moments of connection. A quiet walk together, a shared prayer, a heartfelt expression of appreciation, or simply listening without judgment can have a powerful healing effect. It is equally important to release the need to control another person's emotional journey. Every soul has lessons to learn and challenges to overcome. We cannot force growth upon someone else. What we can do is become a source of peace rather than additional conflict. Over time, this creates a different energetic environment. Healing is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming conscious. Every act of kindness, patience, forgiveness, and understanding strengthens the spiritual foundation of the relationship. And as that foundation grows stronger, both partners begin experiencing a deeper sense of trust, connection, and inner peace. At its deepest level, the hidden energy exchange between husband and wife teaches a profound spiritual lesson. It reminds us that relationships are not merely about companionship, comfort, or shared responsibilities. They are sacred opportunities for awakening. Every interaction becomes a chance to learn more about ourselves. Every challenge reveals areas where growth is still needed. Every moment of love reveals the divine qualities already present within the soul. Many people spend years trying to change their spouse, believing that happiness depends upon another person's transformation. Yet spiritual wisdom points in a different direction. True peace begins when we focus on our own consciousness. As we become more patient, more compassionate, more understanding, and more spiritually aware, the quality of our relationships naturally changes. Marriage then becomes much more than a social arrangement. It becomes a spiritual path. Silence becomes meaningful rather than uncomfortable. Presence becomes healing rather than passive. Love becomes an active practice rather than merely an emotion. Gradually, husband and wife begin seeing one another not as opponents, competitors, or sources of frustration, but as fellow travelers helping each other evolve. The soul learns through relationships because relationships constantly reflect what exists within us. They reveal our fears, our strengths, our attachments, and our capacity for unconditional love. When viewed through this higher perspective, even difficult experiences acquire meaning. They become part of the journey toward greater wisdom. The deepest awakening occurs when we realize that every thought, every intention, and every vibration we bring into a relationship contributes to the spiritual environment we share. In that awareness, love becomes more conscious. Compassion becomes more natural. And the hidden energy exchange transforms from an unconscious process into a sacred act of mutual growth. Ultimately, the greatest purpose of marriage may not be finding someone to complete us, but discovering the divine presence that has always existed within us, reflected through the mirror of another soul. As we come to the end of this spiritual journey together, take a quiet moment to reflect on everything we have explored today. The next time you sit beside your husband or wife in silence, remember that silence is not always empty. Sometimes it is filled with understanding, compassion, healing, and love that words can never fully express. Sometimes the deepest conversations happen not through speech, but through the energy of the heart. Every thought you nurture, every emotion you carry, and every intention you hold contributes to the invisible atmosphere of your relationship. When you bring peace, you share peace. When you bring patience, you share patience. When you bring love, you create a sacred space where both souls can grow together. Perhaps the greatest lesson is that true spiritual communion does not require perfect words or perfect circumstances. It simply requires a sincere heart, a willingness to understand, and the courage to awaken to the deeper connection that already exists. So before you leave, I invite you to ask yourself this simple but powerful question: what kind of energy am I bringing into my closest relationships each day? And how might my life change if I became more conscious of the silent influence I have on those I love? If this message touched your heart, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would genuinely love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a silent connection with your spouse or loved one that felt deeper than words? What part of today's message resonated with you the most? Your experiences may inspire and help others on their spiritual journey as well. And if you found value in this video, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with someone who may benefit from these teachings. Also, let me know in the comments what spiritual topic you would like to hear next. Your suggestions help shape future videos and allow us to grow together as a community of seekers. Until we meet again, may your heart remain peaceful, your relationships remain blessed, and your soul continue moving closer to divine love. Jai Gurudev.